Alright, so after a great run by Andy, now it's time to keep going with some cool arcade classics. And hello everybody, good night, good morning, good afternoon, whatever, wherever you are. This is Snow Brothers, and this is a port of a 1990 arcade game for the NES. So I'm just gonna... I hope that everything is ready to start, so if that's the case, I'm just gonna do a quick reset and I'm gonna make the countdown from 3. So 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, the first thing that I'm gonna be doing, you just need to, sorry, don't think that I'm just playing this randomly or something like that. I'm trying to move to some specific spots because I'm applying something I like to call movement or position manipulation. We're used that usually in video games. The enemies are cycle/RNG based, but this is not the case with Snow Brothers. Okay, this is bad. This has changed my cycles again. Okay, this is bad. This is so bad. Please give me some. Okay, never mind. I got the red potion. So what this consists is that depending of your position on the screen, depending of where do you move the character, is where the enemies are gonna move. So I'm gonna be trying to do this in order to manipulate their positions to get some items. In this case, I have manipulated the second stage to get the red potion, which is one of the important potions that you need to get in the game because it makes to us going faster, and also it is likely help to us to mash quickly the B button to freeze our enemies. And well, this is a port of an arcade game, as I've said before. The original game was released on arcades by Toplan back in 1990, and then they released this port for the NES back in 1991 or next year, and Capcom distributed this game outside of Japan. Considering the NES limitations, there are some differences between the arcade version and this version of the game that I'm gonna be telling them later on the run. The first thing that you will notice, just in case that you have played the arcade version, it's that there are less enemies. This is again thanks to the NES limitations. Maybe in this way, this makes the NES version slightly easier than the arcade release, but it's not true at all. And going back to the point where I was talking about manipulating the position of the enemies, I'm trying to go through some items. There are two kind of items on this game. The food that just gives you us points, the bonus item that can help us to skip stages or get a big amount of points or stuff like that, and the potions, which are the most important on this run, because there are a total of 4 potions. The red potion, which is the first that you would want to get, it's easy to manipulate the second stage in order to get it. Otherwise, you need to reset the game. It was slow for me, but fortunately I was able to get it. It makes us to go faster. The blue potion increases our shooting power. The yellow potion extends our shooting range, and the fourth potion can be considered as a bonus one, which is the green potion that turns our head into a balloon and we can defeat the enemies. So on this first boss, not a big deal. 6 hits and we're done. So 5, 6, and there we go. That was the first boss of the game. Also, talking about the concept of the game, of the gameplay in general, this can be kinda similar to Bubble Bubble, but instead of getting our enemies into bubbles, we freeze them, we turn them into snowballs, and if a rolling snowball touches an enemy, the enemy is gonna fly through all the screen, and when it lands on the ground, the enemy is gonna turn into an item. So the way that the manipulation works here is that there are some stages where it's more probable that you can get some items, so you will go through a specific route in order to get them. On the stage 2, it's more probable that you get the red potion. There's a way to manipulate the third stage to get the blue potion. Unfortunately, I was able to get that, so the backup stage for that is stage 7, where I was able to get this item. And the category, all stages, which is, we can consider that as the 100% category of the game, because the other category is any percent, where you take some lot of skip backs in order to skip some stages. And yeah, it looks a lot like Bubble Bubble because both games share the same concept. I'm talking about gameplay. So there's a little possibility that I can get the green potion on this stage. Let's see if I can get it. There we go, that's the green potion. That potion just appears in some specific stages and it just works as a bonus. You turn your head into a balloon and if you touch an enemy it's gonna fly in all the screen like if a snowball has touched that enemy. With the continues, this game has 9 credits on the arcade machine. Once you run out of the continues, you need to start the game again. And this turns into something more complicated when you play with a friend or with someone else because the 9 credits are shared between both players. So in the stages that has the skip item are the stages 11, 12 and 32, but for this category we don't need to get them because obviously it's all stages, so we need to beat all the 50 stages that this game has. But as many games of the era, it's not a longest stage. So let's see if I'm able to get something interesting here. Some days ago when I was rusting this game, I discovered a new strat to defeat this boss, so... Okay, the boss appeared down, so I'm not gonna be able to show it. But basically, it was a faster way to defeat this boss. Turning all the enemies that he throws into snowballs on this section. Okay, unfortunately I have died. This is a kind of worst thing that it can happen to you in this game because as we are gonna see, our movement gets slowed down by a lot. And since we don't have any items right now, this is gonna take more time to defeat this enemy. This frog just requires 7 hits and we're done. So fortunately I'm not gonna be losing more time on next stages and really may have all of this considered on my estimate, so we're gonna be fine up to this point. Also, these gambling machines are something exclusive to this NES version. This is not available on arcade or any other console port this game got. You can get 3 different things on this gambling machine. You can get a cross, you can get a letter, or get an extra life. If you get a cross, you don't get anything, you don't get any points, and I have died again. Oh. I think that probably my mind is thinking that I'm having all the items, so this is gonna be kinda complicated. But getting back to the topic, okay, that was a very good luck because I got both red and blue potions, so we're back in the game, boys. Talking about the gambling machine, if you get a cross, you don't get points, you don't get anything. For each letter you get, you're gonna get 10,000 points in the letter, and also if you get an extra life, you're gonna get obviously an extra life and 50,000 points. So on this case, the thing that we don't want is to gain extra lives, so usually on video games we like to get as much lives as we can, but this is not the situation with this title, at least in speedrunning talking. So the less points that you get, the most faster you're gonna move to the next stage. So we're gonna aim to get 3 crosses. So we can consider that probably the worst pattern is to get 3 lives. This is not so RNG based, this depends about the way you press the A button. As fast as you press it, as fast as you're gonna finish this. And it's kinda complicated to get a good timing in order to try to get the 3 crosses, so it's more quicker just to press the A button randomly at some moments in order to try to aim for a cross and a letter. Fortunately I haven't gained any extra life right now, but in my practices I was getting a huge amount of them. And also, when you get the snow world, you can get an extra life. If at the gambling machines I get an extra life with this, that's not gonna give me the 50k points, and that's something good. The other way that you can get the snow letters are getting some specific bonus items. Well, the face bonus, which is an extra item and an extra item on some stages. like in the stages 8, 15, 28, 38, 48. I think it's also available on stage 2, and I think in stage 31. That item is gonna make that all the enemies are gonna disappear and some extra enemies are gonna appear, so each of them that we turn into a snowball and throw them, it's gonna give to us a random world from snow. But if we defeat any of that enemies when a running wall, they're gonna give to us 30k points. So the birds, another annoying boss, because here we have 2 bosses, so... Okay, I failed this. I was aiming to... I was aiming to do a fast, a quick heal and with the first bird, but I wasn't able to do it. Otherwise, this is a decent pattern anyways. It's kinda complicated to get this optimized because, again, your position here... Oh my god, talking about the worst patterns that you can get, and now I get 2 extra lives. Okay, with this now you can see how much time are you wasting for getting this. Okay, it's fine. I mean, it's gonna be helpful for me because also if you don't use any continue, if you're able to finish the game without getting any continue, you unlock the real ending. So that's gonna be, for a marathon, that's gonna be pretty good. Yeah. Now, one of my fellow followers, Remix, has appeared in chat, so that's the reason why I got that 2 extra lives. That follower just gave me some awful luck. Blame on him. So on my splits, I have this game divided per bosses, and this split specifically, it's called Backup Pace Killer, because if I have lost time on the last split, which is called Time Waster, I'm gonna fail here. This is one of the biggest run killers, the floor 34. Okay, that's the reason why this is something bad. I wasn't able to freeze correctly enemies. Each time that you appear on a new stage, you have a little invincibility window. This is not going good anyway. I'm gonna wait here. Each time that you start on a new stage, you're gonna have a little invincibility window. So the idea here was to move really quick here, so I was gonna be able to freeze the enemy that was on the right of the screen. Unfortunately, I freeze just the one on the middle, so that wasn't helpful in any sense. So I'm gonna wait until these guys spawn on the floor instead of going through them, because since I don't have any item, it's gonna be risky that I try to chase them. Because also, as you can see, here the holes are more higher than my actual jump, so the only way that I can get outside of it is just to jump over a snowball. Also, with these tornado enemies, I need to be so careful, because if they turn into a tornado, I need to wait until they finish their spinning, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to freeze them. Yeah, in co-op is a pretty good game. Even on single player it's pretty nice. Co-op is something that sometimes can be considered as a big nightmare if you don't coordinate correctly with your partner. Okay, red potion, please, please, tell me that I'm gonna be able to get it. There we go, I got it. Something also different that I need to mention about this game and their kit release is that on their kit release, when you defeat all the enemies, it doesn't matter if you have catch the items. It's gonna move you. The game's gonna move you quickly to the next to the next stage. On the NES port, that doesn't happen, so you're gonna see that I'm gonna be trying to get all the items that I get on the screen. Because if I wait until the item disappears, I'm gonna lose a huge amount of time, because the game waits until there's no enemies and no items. So floor 39, the worst stage from this fourth split. Because again, we are on this section where we cannot get outside of these things, and recently, I don't know why, but the game hasn't been recognizing when I... Okay, Let's see what's gonna happen. I'm gonna wait until one of the skills. The game doesn't. You can. Well, there's a way that where you can throw the snowball and at the same time jump over them, but the game recently, I don't know why, but for some reason hasn't wanted to cooperate with me on that cause. So I need to. I think that for marathon purposes, it's gonna be better just to wait here. And also, a good signal you have wasted a general time on a floor or well a stage. It's when this pumpkin boss appears. Well, this pumpkin ghost. Sorry if I forget sometimes what I need to say. Okay, that's not a very good position to have a snowball. So fourth boss, this is also different comparing this with its arcade counterpart. The difference here is that we just have one boss. On the arcade version there are two, and there are enemies that are falling down from the top of the screen. And the flames that this enemy throws, you cannot turn them into snowball. So that's the difference comparing this with the arcade version. Okay, at least a good part of this is that the game in some way wanna torture me, but also it wants to make that I can show the alternative ending, so this is pretty good. Oh my god, I think that this is the most curious gambling machine locks that I have been getting. So, last split stages or floors 41 to 49. There's a high chance that I can get the blue potion in these stages. I'm gonna be trying to do that. I don't know why, but for some reason it happens. You can get a lot of blue potions over here. These stages. No! Okay, this is the face bonus. The face bonus. I wasn't planning to get this. Who has the S? Tell me, do you have the S? Okay, W. So RIP extra lives. Also, you need to be so careful because if you haven't defeated all the enemies on the screen, when the bonus finishes, they're gonna fall on their original position. On their arcade release, they just keep freeze. Again, I want to assume that console limitations make this little change on the game. Yeah, reverse bubble, definitely. Even if you look for any reviews from this game, you're gonna find that all the websites call that this game uses the same gameplay concept as bubble, so I consider that that's the best way to explain this. The runner is the one and only who is commentating this. Technically, I'm the only active runner of this game. I have been grinding to get the world record, but also the game is not fair in many senses. Actually, I'm on 3rd place and my PB is an 1851. World record is 1735, and if you wanna see what it's called a very good luck with the RNG, you need to watch that world record. Because usually on my recent PBs has been on my last PBs has been into a world record pace, but most of them were lost on the last boss because the last bosses can be considered as full RNG. We're gonna see that on a bit. Because 2 random people started to run the game and then they got the world record I was looking for, so to this day I haven't been able to get the world record again. That frustrated me, so I stopped running the game for a bit. But eventually I'm gonna grind for that. Okay. That was pretty good that I have jumped there. And I haven't got the blue potion for some reason. I don't know why, but usually I used to get it here, but there's no reason I haven't got it. So now, comparing this with the arcade release, this boss is amazingly and incredibly easier on the NES version. Why, you will wonder? Well, on the arcade version, the roof is gonna be falling down each second, so that doesn't happen on the NES. So that's a point for the NES port of this game. So I need to hit like 10 times each of these guys, and then we're gonna be done. And also the bubbles can have nothing, can have some flames, can have an enemy, or can have an item. So right now I'm waiting for a blue potion, just to try to optimize this. If I get trapped into a bubble, I just need to mash all the buttons as fast as I can. It is not gonna be good. Yes, I was aware of it. Also, if I enter into a bubble and then there's a flame down, I need to wait until a specific point before I start to mash my buttons in order to land properly and avoid the flames. And did I get the glitch? I'm not sure if I get the glitch, but there's a glitch on this this last boss fight where for some reason the game is gonna make that you keep your items. I don't know if I got it because I don't remember that I have got a red potion or something like that. But even I think that the world record also gets this glitch, and I have got this glitch sometimes in some Pvs. So that can be good. What I used to do, or well, where I have noticed that it's more probably you can get the glitch. It's where you start to mash all the buttons randomly when you die and where you are dead. So that can be a good speed strat. I don't know why does that happens. Maybe good game development. So if I don't die here, we're gonna see the alternative ending. I hope that I haven't spoken so earlier. I think that I have the same amount of hits to both of these guys. So this can finish randomly at any point, definitely. Okay, rip alternative ending. I have spoke so earlier, but I'm gonna explain that anyways. We don't lose something really important. But yeah, you don't have the less minimum idea about how many runs of this boss has killed, or well, how many world record paces at least with me. Okay, the time is gonna finish once I defeat this boss on the right, so we need to be ready at any time, because at any time this can happen. Yeah, you need to mash a lot. So for any NES speedrunner that likes to mash buttons, Snow Brothers that definitely is a very good game. Time! Yeah, as I've said before, you can set randomly time, or well, randomly stop your timer here, because the time finishes once you defeat the last boss was alive. So, and well, we unfortunately weren't able to see that or anything, but I have got a huge amount of extra lives. So, resuming the ending, well, the history, I forgot to tell the history, the typical cliche of the 80s/90s arcade video games. Some random people, in this case the twin princesses of a far, far away kingdom, were kidnapped by an evil force. Then the brothers Nick and Tom went to rescue them. They weren't able to do that, and they received a curse when they turned into snowmen. So now they need to defeat this evil force to free the twin princesses and at the same time break the curse. If you use a continue, you get this regular ending where the princesses are rescued and the peace is back on the kingdom. But if you beat the game without using any continues, you get an alternative ending when the history tells that the brothers Nick and Tom got the curse road. Well, they got rid of the curse. Sorry, English is not my main language, but I'm trying to do my best. And at the same time, they are married to the twin princesses, so we can consider that as the good ending. I consider that as a pretty good incentive to finish the game without any continues, considering how hard were the video games at this time. And well, my PSF before it's a 1951. I'm actually tied with the former world record. And probably at some point I'm gonna be back into the grinding this game to get the world record that I have been looking for almost 2 years, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get. So some quick shoutouts. First of all, thanks to the to the best of NES staff for giving me the opportunity to showcase this game. It's a pretty cool NES game, and unfortunately, from all my speed games, this is the most optimized that I have, but at the same time is the most rejected in marathons. I have submitted this game to biggest marathons, and unfortunately, it has been rejected. But having an opportunity to showcase this the best of NES, I think that I consider it something pretty good. If somebody wanna run the game and has some doubts about it, feel free to DM me on Discord, on Twitch, or on whatever social media you were able to find me. You can find all my social media at speedrun.com/GhostSenpai. And I'm working in speedrunning tutorial of this game for future runners, or well, for people interested in this game. But the first tip that I can give to you guys is that you need to try to beat the game first. If it's necessary, use some game genie codes to cap infinite life. Once you're able to beat the game in this way, try to beat it without any cheat, and that's gonna be enough for you to understand the concept of the game, and then you can enter to the speed strats. So well, I think that yeah, you have spelled wrong my username, but I'm gonna be commenting on the chat a bit anyways. So also, this is the only NES game that I run. I'm mostly classic PlayStation and more Nintendo games runner. I used to run a lot Crash Bandicoot games, but I have been saving money to buy an NES because there's a lot of NES games that I would like to run. But I think that it was enough for me for today. It's time to keep enjoying the marathon. Now we're gonna have Swords and Serpents by Dragon Arch or Dragon Arc. I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly. So again, thanks for the staff for giving me the opportunity to showcase this game. Thanks to everybody on the chat who comment GG after this run. I was GhostSenpai, and see you everybody. Keep enjoying the marathon because there's still a lot of fun things to do here and fun to watch also.